Hi, and welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Lisa. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. So in today's video, we're going to do a bit of kitchen prep. So one of the things that has been such a source of frustration for me is that when I buy fresh produce in the store, it ruins before we can eat it. It sits in the refrigerator too long. And so today I'm going to do some prep to try to combat that. And because I don't get home sometimes till after 6 o'clock in the evening, pre-prepping these fresh vegetables will make it a little bit easier for me to incorporate them into our diet and have some fresh vegetables already prepared, and we could just throw them in the pot. That's my hope with this. So if you're interested in seeing what I am going to do to prep these vegetables, then keep watching. Too very into this video. So I have my very first vegetable from the garden this year. It's a turnip. Don't ask me the variety because I cannot remember, but it is a turnip and it is ready to eat. I will figure out how to incorporate this into our dinner tonight. I haven't really planned dinner tonight, so that's an issue. What we are going to do is prep these vegetables. Now, this asparagus that I bought at the store, we'll eat that pretty quickly, so I can just put that one in the refrigerator and not worry about it. But down here on my board, on my countertop, I mean, is my mandolin, and it is a little bit dusty, so I'm gonna have to clean it. But what I hope to do with this mandolin is process this zucchini among other things and get it ready to store in both my freezer and my refrigerator. Okay, so the first part of this project is just to cut the ends off. Well, actually, I don't need to cut that end off. Just the part with the gnarly part that attaches to the vine. I've already pre-washed all these zucchinis. Now, this is a safety tool, but it doesn't really hold on to these very much. So a lot of times I just do it with my hands. The blade on the mandolin is really sharp. And when it gets down closer to the ends, so this is why I didn't cut both ends off, because when you get down to this little nub, it won't really go. This thing is adjustable. I have these pretty thin. So I'm gonna do 2 of them that size. Okay, now this size would be perfect for frying. So the air is what really, exposure to the air. I don't have a freeze dryer. I'm not sure if you're supposed to blanch these before you freeze them, but I'm just going to freeze them just like this. And I just put them in a freezer bag, and I'm going to stick them in the freezer. And the day I plan to cook them, I'm just going to take them out the night before. So I'm going to make the next batch a little bit bigger as far as the width of the slice. And I'm going to actually do 3 of them with the thicker see how, actually I probably should go a little bit. I think I'm gonna go a little bit. Because I'm gonna, ooh, golly, see, that's why you need to use the guard. Got my finger, it's a good thing it was my fingernail.
Do your finger?
Just about.
Yeah, girl.
I disregarded mandolin safety.
Recording?
Yeah. Ooh, that one turned out a little bitty. Maybe I'll just eat that one whole. Alright, so, and that's the diameter of those. And what I'm going to end up doing is cutting these in smaller pieces, like a dicing. And because I usually just put them in a pot and saute them with some onions. So I'm going to cut these up now. Okay, so those 5 zucchinis made 2 bags of chopped zucchini and 1 bag of sliced zucchini. And so I'm just gonna, well, I'm gonna save this bag for dinner tonight, I think. And the other 2 bags I'm gonna throw in the freezer. Now I'm gonna do that. I have some calabacita squash and some yellow squash. I'm gonna repeat the same process with those 2 squashes as well, because we eat a lot of it. Squash is one of my favorite foods, so we eat it frequently during the week. So this is probably gonna be 2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks worth of food that's already prepared. So all I have to do is take it out of the freezer and thaw it out and cook it. And so anything to make my life easier. So I'm gonna shut up talking now and get to work chopping this other squash. So one thing that I did forget to mention is that when I put these in the freezer, I am marking the freezer bags. I just put that this was store-bought. I didn't get it from my garden. And what it is, of course, this is Calabacita squash. And unfortunately, I couldn't find seeds for this variety. Well, I didn't buy seeds for this variety. I'm pretty sure Baker Creek probably has them. But I'm not trying to grow these in my garden, so the Calabacitas I can only get at the store right now. It's not a variety that I planted in my garden. So that's just basically, there you go. Okay, for these yellow squash, I'm gonna do these just a little bit different, I think. I'm still gonna chop off the gnarly part that attached to the vine. But since these are long neck yellow squash, what I'm gonna do is cut the fat parts off for slicing, the larger parts at the bottom, and use these parts for my chopped up variety. I think that would make a lot of sense to do it that way. So again, yellow squash, made 2 bags of sliced squash and 2 bags of the chopped. Now, unfortunately, my brother and I are the only ones that eat these vegetables when I make them. My nephew and my son do not like squash. So I can keep these portion sizes kind of small because I'm just feeding myself and my brother. So that's it for the squashes that I bought at the store. I'm gonna process some bell peppers now and some onions because the frozen burritos that I made we're pretty much, we're actually very good and a hit with everybody else in the family too, besides just me. So I'm gonna make some more, just to make sure that we don't run out anytime soon. And so I already have the sausage cooking, so now I'm gonna process the peppers and the onions that I'm gonna put in there. But I'm gonna process extra because, again, I don't want this stuff to go to ruin. I've thrown out way too much of it, and it really bothers me to throw out good food. So doing it this way, I mean, it serves two purposes. It's to show that even if you buy all your vegetables at the store, that's okay. You can still preserve them, and you can still learn how to preserve them. Since I don't have a canner or a food dehydrator right now, my method of preservation is to freeze them, and it makes my life easier to process them and freeze them. So all I have to do is grab them out and thaw them, and so it's a doable thing. So I'm sharing this with you today because I really believe that's a doable thing. So I'm also going to experiment a little bit tonight with maybe make some homemade onion rings, since I have my mandolin out already. I'm not sure about that, but maybe. We'll see. Okay, so I'm going to start processing these peppers, and because curiosity killed the cat, I'm going to see what they look like when I run them through the mandolin. Look at that. That's interesting. Makes less work chopping. Oh, look at those. That is so cool looking. So as you can tell, I'm kind of easily amused. And I'm going to take out the center of that one. Oh, that would make great salad topping though. Putting that pepper through the mandolin was that made some really interesting shapes, and it'll be lots easier to chop that. However, the seeds went everywhere, so I'm not sure I really want to process them all that way, but it was a fun experiment, and it made some really pretty interesting shapes. before I cut this last pepper, I wanted to talk about something because one of my favorite YouTubers, she's had taken some slack recently because she talks about the difference between real food and processed food, and one of the other points that she makes is what we buy in the grocery store, it comes to us pretty much sanitized. So what I mean by that, this pepper, even though I rinsed it off, I mean it was pretty much clean in the store. This is the way it comes in the store. I just wiped an ant off of this turnip that I got from my garden, and as you can see, there's dirt all over this. Real food comes dirty is one of her favorite sayings. This turnip that I home grew in my garden is probably going to taste so much better than the turnips that I buy in the store. And you can eat all parts of this plant. You can eat these greens, and you can eat, you know, the root as well. So real food actually really comes dirty. But if you can't eat your own homegrown vegetables, then these store-bought vegetables are the better alternative. So those 5 bell peppers. Lost my train of thought. Okay, so those 5 bell peppers, of course, made five bags. So I just roughly chop them, and usually that's all I ever do when I add them to my dishes, is just rough chop them.